Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do D&D or space? Space. Okay.
Oh, I like spice.
Well, welcome to a new painting. Wow. Right out the gate. Oh, Dexter. Hi, everyone. Chloe here. We're doing a painting talk. I'm at Amy's house with Amy and also Dexter.
Yay.
Yeah, we're literally just sitting on Amy's sofa under a duvet.
Yeah.
Bloody lovely.
I'm really sorry if he barks. Oh, I heard a little bark just then.
It's all part of the mise en scène.
I'd also just like to paint the picture and say that Chloe is gently resting her hand against my knee.
I have to. I can stop if you want, babes.
No, I really like it.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about something that both Amy and I are very keen on, and there's just not enough of it in the world. And that is space books that aren't about much in particular.
Yeah. I'll grant you, it's a niche. Well, I think it is a growing niche now.
Yeah, I certainly, like, you know, they always say, write the book you want to read.
Yeah.
That is going to be the book that I write.
Yeah.
Inevitably.
Yeah.
But, like, well, we all know, I've previously discussed how much I love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yep.
And that kind of started it all off for me, because it was
Yep.
more satirical. It was just, what if everyday life and politics, but space?
Yeah.
And then Amy introduced me to, well...
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's got, like, a whole, like, arc name, but it's Becky Chambers' The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet was the first one.
Yeah.
I guess the Wayfarer
The Wayfarer series.
Yeah. Which is basically, what is it? Like what kind of ship is it?
It's just a ship, but the crew on it are a tunneling team.
Right, yeah. So it's a tunneling team, and it's just made up of different races of aliens. The captain is human. I think there's a couple of humans, actually. But it's just about this crew that just get on with each other. Like, there's no particular, like, interpolitics on the ship. They all respect each other and get along, and the book is kind of about their mishaps and adventures. It's just a nice read.
Yeah, it's mostly just really low stakes, and it's kind of like family or friends dramas, but again set in space. And the idea is that they're kind of a deep space construction crew, so it's taken something relatively normal and everyday and mundane, but just put it in a interesting context.
Spus.
and I just really like that. But that's just the first book, but then she's built an entire universe.
Yeah, so there's basically like 2 spiritual sequels, and they're all related to each other in some way, but the links are fairly tenuous, so you can read the books in any order pretty much. And yeah, each book is, I would say, quite vastly different from the others.
Yeah, like thematically as well as like character-wise.
Yeah, and when I was reading the second one, in the first couple of pages, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this as much, because I've fallen in love with the characters from the first book, and basically the ending sort of bleeds into the beginning of the second book. But by, I don't know, the 5th or 6th page, you're already invested in the new characters.
Yep.
And yeah, Becky Chambers just does an amazing job of making these characters very individually interesting and unique, and that's quite hard to do, especially for like sci-fi. When
you approach the different books, you fall in love with the characters, you literally can't help it. But more than anything, you're invited to fall in love with the world. So much so that you want to explore every possible facet of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why it is initially tricky to move on from the first characters you read about. But by book 2, you're really heavily invested in the idea of exploring other parts.
Yeah, it's funny because I would like to see a direct sequel from the first one, because I love those characters so much. But also, there are so many different races and sort of like political factions in that world that I also want to see so much of them as well. Yeah, I feel like she can just run for miles with this series. There's so much left that she can explore.
But speaking of that kind of world building, the fact that it's such an established union and there's like peaceful areas makes it feel, like I said, like a low stakes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where there's some conflict, but it's in like the outlying regions, and you don't hear about it necessarily through all the characters in these books.
Right. And the main conflicts have already happened, like hundreds of years ago, and maybe she'll write a book in that time period, but maybe not.
And I'd be happy for her to not.
Yeah.
Because what I prefer is the trivium of the day-to-day. And that's what I need. That's what I need as like a bigger genre. I need that. You've got science fiction, then you've got spacefaring as a subsection of that science fiction. But if you go and look at the back of any space book, we walk into Waterstones, as we do weekly, frequently, and you look on the back, you read those blurbs.
Yeah.
On like 99% of the books, it will have the word conflict.
Yeah.
Interstellar warfare.
I don't want that.
Thrilling.
Yeah.
Just like, no, can I just have like a nice, gentle read, but it just happens to be set in space?
Yeah, I just want to know what humans hundreds of years from now eat for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I want to know.
That's all I want.
What I really like about Becky Chambers as well, and some people might take this for granted, but the way that she just very casually mentions like same-sex relationships or like interspecies relationships, and the way that the other characters just perceive this as totally normal is just really nice and refreshing. In the third book, there's like multiple same-sex relationships. It's barely like anything worth noting because nobody considers it weird or anything like that. And again, like some people might just consider that a small thing, but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. And like sci-fi has always done that thing where it's science fiction. It's about other worlds, but all the relationships are still hetero.
Yeah. It's like, in this world, anything is possible
Yeah.
except for same-sex relationships.
Yeah. And that's like what happens with a lot of fantasy books as well. It's still just like a white guy and a white chick get together. Like you are creating a world from scratch, but you're still letting your normal prejudices bleed through. Yeah, so she does a really good job of that. I like her a lot.
I like her a lot.
I like you a lot.
I like you a lot. And I like space a lot.
I love space.
What would be like if you're walking into Waterstones, you pick up a book, you read the back, and you realise it's your perfect science fiction book.
Ooh.
What does it say?
Space dragons. But like this whole video is about, I just do like casual sci-fi. I also really like books that can do contained settings very well.
Yeah.
So like the first Wayfarer's book is basically set on a relatively small ship. I love contained settings like that.
Because it's exploring like nuance and the mundane. It's a celebration of everyday life. There was a graphic novel. I say graphic novel. It was a collection of short comics, and I'm going to lend it to you because you'll love it.
Oh.
It was started out as a Kickstarter, as we want to collect lots of artists who create stories about space and compile an anthology of short stories about all the different corners of space, and you can write about whatever you want. So the Kickstarter was funded, and so they brought something like 30 to 40 artists on board, and so now there's just this collection of stories. Some of them are just like, oh no, there's been a huge explosion and drama and things, and those are all fine, because they're also about like how the security guard responds to a huge plague on the ship. Then there are the small ones, like there's this one story which is literally it just takes place on the outside of a ship where there's these two female mechanics just like mending a panel together, and the whole comic is just them talking about life on home whilst they mend this panel. And one of them is just like, do you know what I really miss? What? Blue sky. And like it's just this really lovely conversation between two who would be perceived as boring characters having like a very interesting moment, because they are interesting. They work in space.
Yeah, like the nature of sci-fi, it's just inherently exciting. No matter what you do with it, there's always something that's going to be exciting about it. So why not just talk about lunch? Oh, what do you think? Right, what do you think a normal burger would be like in space?
Well, that's the thing. I think I've been tainted by Becky Chambers. I'm so invested in her world because it's so well researched and so true to form.
There's a lot of soy in her book.
A lot of soy, but also a lot of arthropods. Is it arthropods? Like bugs and stuff?
Yeah.
In her book, cows are like a luxury item for really rich people who live on Mars.
Yeah.
Kind of like Futurama.
Yeah.
So like mammals. Mammals are an alien thing in her universe.
Yeah.
And not many humans have eaten mammal. They're mostly vegetarian, vegan, or they eat bugs. So I don't know. I think something like that, something that would be a common meat source, but not of Earth.
I reckon it's going to be some kind of like soy variant, but like pisses all over Linda McCartney.
Soylent Green?
Yeah, Soylent Green would be very convenient. That'd be a convenient diet. No, I reckon it's soy burger that tastes like the Imposter Burger, but like a million times better. Oh my god, what if they don't have mayonnaise anymore? Oh Jesus, cut the video.
Oh god, what if they only have diet mayonnaise? I give it 80 years and there'll be a McDonald's on the moon.
Oh, do you want to bet on that?
Yeah, right.
I will bet you one Big Mac.
So if I'm right,
Right.
you have to buy me a moon Mac.
Right.
If I'm wrong, I have to buy you just something from Waterloo. We'll go to
You know what?
Waterloo Station and
That's
have a Big
fair.
Mac.
I'll have an apple pie. Haven't had one in years.
You want to get one now?
Yeah, do you want to?
All right, let's go get you an apple pie from space. Thank you for watching us talk about casual space, a genre we think should be a genre. Stay tuned for when we inevitably write our own book about it.
Yes.
Subscribe to Amy. Amy, say hi bye.
Hi, bye.
And I'm going to say hi bye. I hope you're already subscribed to me. Hi bye. And cue the music.